I like to dedicate this to all of the Creator's righteous children. I have some food in my bag for you. Not that edible food, that food you eat. No, I have some food for thought. Since knowledge is infinite, it has infinitely fell on me.
Peace, YouTube. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be about a TV show that I have been passionately watching for the past 5 years, and that is The Fosters. Now, if you've never seen The Fosters, your chances are kind of up to watch it while it's still in new episodes. But if you hurry up and catch up, you might be able to watch the last 3 episodes coming out in June. But basically, The Fosters, and the reason why this show kind of captivated me is this show took the family sitcom, dramedy type of show and really spun it on its back. This is like no other family show that has ever really been on TV before. So basically the premise of this show is about a girl named Callie Jacobs. Callie Jacobs is a foster kid, right? And she ends up in the very first episode we see her in. She is in juvie. And a woman named Lena, who is a foster parent, with her partner Steph, they are a lesbian couple, and they already have a son and a daughter and another son. And so when Lena first comes in contact with Callie, she isn't sure if she wants to take Callie into their home because Steph and Lena are both very busy. Lena is a school vice principal and Steph is a cop. And they already have 3 kids already. And I'm just not sure if they have the their allowance of space to be able to take Callie in. So Lena brings Callie to the house and she meets everybody, and basically we meet, so first you meet Callie and then you meet Steph and Lena's kids. Brandon is Steph's biological son that she had with Brandon's father and Mike. And you meet Jesus and Mariana, and they are 2 foster kids that Steph found at her precinct when they were found on the streets because their biological mother, Anna, was a drug addict who used to basically go out for hours and hours and hours without telling her children where she's going, basically leaving them at home by themselves. All this type of craziness would go on, and she was just obsessed with drugs and didn't really care about her family or her kids or anything like that. And so basically throughout the first episode, we get to see Callie and how she interacts with the family and how she's a very vulnerable person. Because the reason that Callie's in the foster system in the first place is because her dad, or what is perceived to be her father, killed her mother in a car accident and basically is in jail right now, at the time anyways. And basically she ended up in the foster care system with her younger brother Jude, who at the time of the very first episode is still at the previous foster house that they were last in, that landed Callie in juvie in the first place. And basically Callie's foster parent was being verbally and physically abusive to Callie and Jude, and so Callie had to take matters into her own hand and basically tried to hurt her foster parent and also damage his car, and so she ended up in juvie. And so basically the very first episode is basically her trying to go and get her brother from the clutches of this evil man. And basically she ends up rescuing her brother, and they go and live with the Adams Fosters until they can find a more permanent home. So this show is basically had been on the air for about 5 years, since 2013, and it was executive produced by Jennifer Lopez, somebody that I really love. And she said that she wanted to executive produce this show because of a gay aunt that she had, and just how inspirational she was to her. And so she just wanted to show that kind of fearlessness in a family of 21st century standards. And the tagline when the show first came out was kind of like, it's not your average family show, it's not like the Brady Bunch or even the Cosby Show, it's a completely different, you know, type of dynamic. And it really, really was. Yesterday they showed basically the series finale, but they're gonna have a few episodes that are gonna air in June, which are basically gonna be jump cuts from where they are right now in the show. But man, this show dealt with some topics, some very, very hard topics that I've never really seen on any other primetime television show that, you know, have dealt in this magnitude. There might have been a show here or there that have talked about some of these issues, but never to this extent and never to this magnitude. They dealt with issues about, you know, coming out, dealt with issues of abortion, racism. They dealt with foster care system. They dealt with you know, suicide. They've dealt with just the gambit of things. You know, they've dealt with transgender issues. They've dealt with immigration issues. They've dealt with youth prostitution. They've dealt with pimps and like child kidnapping. You know, they've dealt with the gambit. They've dealt with sexual assault. They've dealt with rape. They've dealt with TBIs. They've dealt with so many issues. The guiltiness that you feel after coming out when your parents don't initially believe you or are proud of you when you come out. Just like so many issues have been dealt with on this show, and they've always been dealt with such grace, with such vigor, and just remembering that the show is based about family. And so no matter how hard things ever got, no matter how many times you thought a character might die, no matter how many times you thought a character, you know, was going too far, no matter how many times a character would screw up, you remembered that this show was about love, about family, and about being who you are, completely and wholly, right? And I think that's the reason why I fell in love with the show in the first place. You know, you have Steph, and she's a cop, and she's white, and you have Lena, and she's a vice principal turned principal, and she is mixed, black and white. You know, Steph and Lena are really the rocks of the show. We call them the mamas, and they really are the mamas. They are the rocks of this show, and without them this show wouldn't have survived. You know what I mean? And their family would not have survived. The Fosters wouldn't be the Fosters without Steph and Lena, because they really are the glue and the matriarchy that hold the Foster family together. You know, and it's really beautiful because a lot of shows, you know, they deal with one character, and that show revolves around that one character, or it revolves around a family, or whatever. And sometimes, you know, a show won't always complete whatever the premise of the show really was about. It might not complete it the way that it feels whole and feels connected. A lot of shows in the 90s used to do that, and early 2000s, and I think it's really beautiful that a show about a vulnerable 16-year-old girl who has been through the gamut her whole entire life, never knowing where her next meal was going to be, never knowing if her and her brother were going to be safe, never knowing who her next family was going to be, never feeling loved, never feeling appreciated, never feeling like she was enough. Fast forward 5 years, but like 2 to 3 years in the show, and you see this beautiful girl blossom from the hurt and the pain that she felt being a foster kid. You see her using her abilities after finding her forever family and being able to help others. And that was something that I truly, truly, truly commend about that show. It's just that, you know, it really is a show about resilience and about family being your strongest bonds. And really, blood not mattering, because you can be blood with somebody and have the worst relationship with them in the world. And you can be not blood and have the best relationship with them in the world. It doesn't matter. But I just felt that The Fosters was such a dynamic show that just talked about issues from a family perspective, from all different types of races and backgrounds and genders, and it was really beautiful to see. They dealt with the N-word before. They just dealt with so many things. They've dealt with cancer twice. They've dealt with just so much, you know. And they dealt with how parents interact with their children. It's just been wonderful. And it's sad that those 5 years are up and now The Fosters is over. But if you've never actually watched The Fosters, I recommend you go out there and check out the show. It really will touch your soul. Just earlier, I was catching up on The Fosters because I don't have cable and I have to watch The Fosters the day after. But I was watching the season series finale of the show, and it just brought me to so many tears because I saw so many of the characters and how they grew from who they were in that first season till now. And it's just so beautiful to see how much they've blossomed and grew and became these incredible characters who they feel that they're worthy of the love that they deserve. And it was so beautiful to see how amazing and beautiful this family has been and will always be. And they've just touched a beautiful part of my soul. And I'm just so glad that this show was on TV. I'm just so glad. And I feel like it doesn't get enough love, although it gets a lot of love. It doesn't get as much love as I wish it did. And so I'm just throwing it out there that anybody who's never seen The Fosters, please go watch it. It's on Netflix. Go check it out. They're going to probably be putting the last part of season 5 on there soon. And so I recommend you go and check this show out because it's really a dynamic show that will floor you. And, you know, for me, I really don't even watch TV that much anymore. I used to when I was a kid, of course, be like a big TV head, but you know, now I'm in my 20s and like just busy and things are like whatever, so I don't watch TV as much. But The Fosters really grappled me, and it really brought me to a place that I didn't know that I needed to be at. It taught me a lot of lessons about things I didn't even know about, and it just was a reminder about the human spirit and family and just being there for one another and being a person of love and genuine love. And so, you know, like I said, go check it out. It's on Netflix. You will love it. And I just wanted to give a huge shout out to The Fosters and the Foster fans and Steph and Lena and the whole everybody. Y'all were like family to me for the past 5 years, and I really am sad to see this show go. When I was watching this finale, I was like tearing up so hardcore. But like, you know, I'm sad to see the show go, but it has made a huge impact on my life for the better, and I'm just so glad that it has been able to be on the airwaves for as long as it has. So I'm definitely writing a blog post all about The Fosters and why it means so much to me. I just wanted to, you know, come on here and show a little love for The Fosters. But yeah, definitely check out my blog when it comes out. And yeah, it's been a wild ride, Fosters, and I am so grateful for it all. So it's not where you come from, it's where you belong. Fosters forever. Peace and blessings.